Holy hold the mayo, Batman! Tiki here, and I've been watching through Batman, the animated series, for the first time. And we are towards the end of the initial run of episodes before the big redo season. And yeah, there's a lot of side characters going on here. A lot of crazy, kooky shenanigans. I think I might need someone to explain all the different the Condiment Kings of it all the different crazy side characters. Dragon, did we clone Bruce Campbell or what? This is going off the rails. Jesus Christ! Wow.
Well, okay, so you see, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way, which is why I'm here.
And tonight we're talking about Make 'em Laugh, Dragon. Oh God, I am not winning any brandy points with you tonight, buddy.
Oh, you're not. You're not cutting the mustard, one could say.
All right, so speaking of which, this episode, yeah, really fun opening scene with Condiment King. I fucking love all the Condiment King stuff in this episode. And honestly, I really enjoyed the all the other ones too. The rat one and the mom one. I don't want to presume their names because tell me their names, Dragon, please.
Pack Rat and Mighty Mom.
Mighty Mom and Pack Rat. Thank you. Yeah, I liked all three of those villains. Dragon, with the Joker of it all, it's interesting. We'll get there. I feel like there's a nugget of psychology with the Joker that we kind of dive into, but I don't really feel like it's fully explored in the episode. And I don't know. I feel like the episode would have been maybe a little bit more memorable for me if it was just like a gang of comedians with ridiculous gimmicks and the Joker wasn't even really involved. Because I gotta say, the ridiculous gimmick villains were by far my favorite part of the episode. No disrespect to the Joker stuff. I just thought the Joker stuff was maybe a little less baked than it could have been.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that at all. Let me put it to you this way: Make 'em Laugh for me. It's one of those. This is like kind of a. I don't want to say this in a negative way, but it's kind of like a stock episode of season 3. It's kind of like,
Sure,
well, we need
sure.
some. It's a fun episode. It's got good stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's Dini, of course, but it's it's not like it's not like it's no Ra's al Ghul for season 3. It's no it's not like giving Joker another laughing fish by any stretch either.
No, not even close.
That's what I mean. But again, it's kind of in the Joker's Wild vein. Just looks a lot better.
Yeah.
All
right. And like I said, Condiment King. I mean, hey,
Yeah, so,
I'm all about it.
Let me provide you a little smidgen of context here. So, all right. So this was directed by the great Boyd Kirkland, who behind. I'm just going to list out the Joker-related credits here, just given the theme of the whole episode. We have Joker's Favor, Joker's Wild, and Harley and Ivy, just to give you a little example there. Of course, written by a guy who wrote all those episodes too. Paul Dini, of course, Harley Quinn for this season, as well as anything with Joker in the title, usually Dini. And also the other writer on this, Randy Rogel, great writer behind Two-Face, Riddler's Reform, another Dini episode, and Robin's Reckoning. So yeah,
Nice.
got really good writing talent on this, which again gives us like a Condiment King. Studio worked on this. Dong Yang, and again, this is Dong Yang this is like Dong Yang when they found their groove, because of course, when Spectrum's away, 9 times out of 10, Dong Yang will come to play.
What do they do the other 1 time out of 10?
Well, it's like then you get those Harley's Holiday episodes.
Right. Oh God, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of they're there to do the job, but then when All right, so finally, of course, they had done, Joker's Favor, Riddler's Reform, and Harley Quinn to give you some great examples of Dong Yang. Of course, this kind of fits into that. This is like them in the lockup thing. Where like they know what it looks like, man. They got their groove on. They know exactly how to make these episodes look in kind of uniform and kind of cool style. Because again, Tiki, what's going to get us in the season 4, and this is important. The animation studios were looking for consistency because the styles could be a little all over the place. So, this is where we're starting to get a uniform style, trying to make it easier on them, and then we're going to take the next step with the revamp. Once
that I'm really not looking forward to it, Dragon. I'm really not.
That's what I'm saying. And soak up the Dong Yang while you can, my friend, because they go bye-bye. You don't see them again.
I know.
It's we make believe. We get a good studio, mind you, but it's not Dong Yang. It's just not the same. All right, so this episode, little inspired by The Killing Joke, with
a little bit. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's an interesting kind of. I'm sorry. You go ahead. I'll make my points throughout the podcast.
Right. So basically, little inspired by The Killing Joke, where it's kind of Joker's his kind of aspirations to be a comedian. Of course, many a time Joker kind of views himself as right now there's a big story in the comics going on called Three Jokers, which is fantastic, by the way. I recommend everybody check it out. It's basically there are three Jokers that kind of epitomize an element of the personality, and one of them is the comedian, which is very much kind of your Killing Joke era, like Brian Ballin Joker. So that's kind of what we're doing with that guy. So again, we're exploring a little bit of that, but again, on Saturday morning television, we can't go full tilt with that, and we can't really. I don't think there's enough room in 22 minutes at this point in time to get into the whole psychology of a multiple choice background yet. So we're not there either.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like one of the things the episode could have hit on a little bit stronger was just like Joker going out of his way to win something so trivial at the end of the day, and how that's kind of his own sort of complex and obsession.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I feel like we could have maybe gone a little bit more psychological with that.
Certainly, and again, we touch on it, but again, there's we cover some real estate here with kind of our with the Joker, and then of course the personalities thing. So that's kind of
the personalities are very fun.
They are.
So
also ironically, having to have this thing kind of worked out a little bit of I don't think this was intentional, but it might have been a little bit in terms of how this feels. A little homage to King of Comedy, which of course years later definitely came back. Came back in a big way. So, one downside of this episode for me, and again, it's not like a major downside, just like an annoying thing. I remember I've told you about those pet peeves within kind of the Batman fan community. This is one of those pet peeves where this is an episode, again, it wasn't it wasn't like I was dreading it or anything, it's just this is one pet peeve where, unfortunately, this episode gets attention in the wrong sense because it always confuses the phantasm of it all. Where, of course, Mask of the Phantasm, you have the excellent bit where, oh my god, it's Joker, we draw the lips on him, it's the guy.
Oh, yes, right.
And
right.
we do something very similar to that here, and everyone took it. That's not. It's not as good as in Phantasm. It's not as good as in Phantasm, but the problem is that for a while, everyone confused it.
Yes.
Like, anyone who was true, entrenched in the animated series, they would always say, hey, they retconned Phantasm. We're saying, no, they just used the same thing twice. They didn't retcon Phantasm. It's like, there's a whole thing. Some people say it's like, hey, we erased what we did in Phantasm. I'm saying, no, we didn't erase it. And we'll get into when we get to the scene, but it's always this misnomer that they forgot what they wrote in the movie. And no, folks, Dini doesn't forget stuff like that. He's a good writer. He knows what he wrote. And he wrote that stuff in the movie, too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. We talked about the Harley Quinn thing, the whole, she gets the little booster shot. That's how she can take all the high falls and everything. Dini locked it away. Dini doesn't forget that sort of stuff. But we'll get there when we get there again. It's going to get real pet peevey once we get to that scene. But outside, let's just dive right into it. All the fun.
All right. So first of all, I love the title screen with the purple neon.
Oh yeah, and of course, it had an excellent title card. As the Batman, again before the revamp, we dispatch with the title cards again. Yet another kind of sad truth. Wait,
dispatch with the title cards?
No more title cards once we do the revamp.
Wait, what? So does the episode just start oh god,
superimpose the title on the screen. That, for all intents and purposes, is your quote-unquote title card. Not
Dragon, much. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I know, but they didn't have time. They were trying to streamline things. They were doing 3 shows at that time. They had to cut it down.
All right. Anyways,
again, those were
we'll get there when we get there, Dragon.
That's the thing. Those title cards are handcrafted gems, but that takes
time. I know.
But yeah, so point being, this has a beautiful title card, the whole Make 'em Laugh. And of course, by the way, a little fun fact, Make 'em Laugh, I've always been pitching this and everything. I think I worked it into our Batman pitch way back when we announced the solo Bat movie that we're now kind of getting. Kind of.
Not really. Not the
Yeah,
same
it's not at all
thing.
what we pitched. We were pitching like an Affleck prequel. This is like completely different. Like, oh, hey, they're gonna do like a trilogy of Batman films. Like, hey, I wonder what that's gonna be like. Anyway, so
I
I've
still
always been pitching.
see Michael B. Jordan as a younger Harvey Dent.
Right, right. Of course, now he kind of somewhat little Nostradamus there. You kind of get Michael B. Jordan doing some Static Shock stuff now, which is kind of
Oh,
close.
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
No, but the yeah, I've always pitched a scene where how do we not after all these years, how have we not had a scene where Joker's killing somebody set to make them laugh? That's my question.
I
You
hear
know,
you. Yeah.
because again, it's gold, right? You know. Anyway, I've always wanted that, and of course, this title with that namesake is oh my god, it's like a Joker linked with make them laugh. It makes perfect sense. And Dini loves doing Joker episodes with kind of like be a clown or make them laugh titles, like little song homages. So they're kind of cool too.
Oh.
All right, okay, yeah, into the episode. All right, so we start with this really nice restaurant. You know, it's nice because it's on like the top floor of the place.
Dragon, did you know that Ezra and I, when we go to Florida, God willing, the last thing we're doing is going to be getting a drink at the top floor of the Contemporary Resort.
Well, just don't get all song and dancey on the edge, would you?
Oh God! All right. I'm just saying that's a nice way to top off a vacation, right?
You're right. Just beware like stray condiments on the railing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough. Anyways.
Speaking of which, so then we have this great entrance. I love this entrance where we're on the elevator. It gets off. And you see this kind of
Oh, this
oddball.
is all the Condiment King stuff is gold, Dragon. I was just loving everything about this.
There's a fun story with the Condiment King, but let's introduce him. So as he gets off the elevator, we're kind of obscuring him with a whole bunch of people, and then we build up the reveal of the absurdity.
I love like from behind. I'm almost like thinking like, what is this? Like a red hood, but it's a green hood instead of a red hood. What's going on?
Oh, guy walks up into the maitre d'. The maitre d', of course, it's a snooty maitre d'.
I love the maitre d' is so snooty that he doesn't even notice how bizarre this guy is. He doesn't even give him the time of day to like look in his general direction.
Of course, and we have this great line: "King, party of one." Of course, I don't see that name there, and of course, they just it's. He says, "I'll take this fruitcake." He blasts him across the room, and then we reveal it's the Condiment King. As he just like declares to the whole room, "Heads up, chow hounds! Drop your forks and cower before the uncanny Condiment King."
Oh,
So
the
okay,
people like just barely even take him seriously. Like, who's that guy? He's a nutcase. Just ignore him. Someone will call security.
okay, so let me tell you about Condiment King. So Condiment King is an original creation for the animated series. And here's the
Okay,
thing. Everyone remembers Condiment King. He's only appeared like twice, three
that's great.
times if you count the
That's
Lego
great.
Batman movie. Three times, now four with Harley Quinn, the animated show. Okay, now four times. So but that's what I'm saying. The point being, people remember Condiment King. They think like
I want him to pop up in James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
I do too, and there's a chance of it because that's what I'm saying. See, that's the genius thing. Because Dini, he's entrenched with the comics, and he knew about Batman in the Silver Age had all those ridiculous Pokemon, polka dot themed ridiculous foes, like, the Killer Moth, Polka Dot Man, and
Yeah,
stuff like
sure,
that.
sure.
So this is like it feels so authentic to that time, but it's an original creation. That's the great misnomer about Condiment King. Everyone thinks like, oh yeah, he must be a real villain. Well, technically, I mean, now he is, but this guy is created. He's a one-off. He's not like an actual recurring villain. He's like he's a false villain. That's the whole idea. He's a gimmick. He's a created gimmick villain for the episode, and
Okay,
that's how they got away with it.
That's wonderful. I love that.
And I love that Dini was so smart. He created like a parody of a villain of the gimmick villains that made sense to the episode. And that's how he kind of snuck it past. How do we get like a Silver Age villain in our very serious Batman show? We make it part of the plot. It's genius. Okay, so again, he's having a. By the way, he's voiced by someone we recognize, Tiki. It's Stuart Pankin, Earl from Dinosaurs,
Oh, okay. Nice.
and he's so good.
Also, Dragon, that story like vaguely reminds me of the origin story for Donald Duck, where he was just like a one-off character who had a couple lines in one short, the first appearance.
Because I mean, here's the thing: Condiment King was like very technically introduced in the comics after this. He's like in one story once in Batgirl Year One, which is very animated series esque. So they kind of worked him in there. Then he just kind of pops up in like the ensemble pieces, like the Lego Batman movie, and we kind of worked him awesomely back in the Harley Quinn. It's awesome. All right.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So then, basically, he's after he blasts Maitre D, he's making his decrees, and he's very this. I love how disheartened he is by the lack of respect, and he's so baffled by it. You just go back to your heels. You don't cower. All right, then he's blasting the patrons, and of course, Condiment King. We should discuss his appearance, Tiki. I mean, he's wearing like green and blue, and he's like teal. He's got on the underwear on the outside, but not just underwear. I mean, like the white tighty whitey.
No, it's very much like the '90s tighty whitey look. Yeah.
And he's got these. He's got kind of a take on Mr. Freeze, where he's got these canisters, not of ice necessarily, but of mustard and ketchup that are linked to like these little plasticky tubes to his ketchup and mustard guns, which is awesome. He has like an ammo belt of all these sauce packets. And
then the pickle hood just kind of ties it all together.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. And the sunglasses looks wonderful. It's so fantastic. One of the great designs too. Okay, so Condiment King, he's then blasting everybody. And one of the patrons, the hero patron, if you will, voiced by Mark Hamill, by the way, the hero patron, gets up and he says, "Okay, see here," and then the Condiment King, he pulls from his neck the hot sauce packet. He got him with the hot sauce, like hot sauce.
Anyone else want to be a hero?
He begins to rob the diners, who are they're more like, oh god, it's a crazy nut job armed with they really shouldn't be scared of in retrospect.
Right.
They don't know what's going to happen. They're frou-frou guys. They're up in like a high-rise, the dining
Honestly,
room.
that would be the thing I'd be the most worried about, Dragon, is the actual height and the fact that this guy is a loose cannon,
Loose cannon of condiments.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. So he robs the diners and he's asking for wallets, cash, jewelry. Meanwhile, this is one of the money bits of the episode, one of the best gags of the episode. So Batman's in the Batmobile. He's he has the police scanner on, and we have like the report of a suspect. Tiki, do you have it?
Let's see. Disturbance reported at the top of the Crown restaurant. Suspect is a male extremist armed with what appears to be a ketchup gun.
And Batman says it's gonna be one of those nights. Oh god! So Condiment King, he's trying to make his own version of a bad exit here. It's like, okay, I'm gonna leave here with the loot, and you know what they say, ladies and gentlemen, parting is such sweet and sour sorrow.
I love that. I love this guy's like a better version of the Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze with the condiment puns.
And that's the built-in thing. Now when we bring him back, we do the Schwarzenegger thing. It's so wonderful. All right. So let's see. So then he's interrupted by Batman. Oh
God, Dragon! I could see Fabian doing him in Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm behind it, man. I don't know where you're pulling that from. That's cool, though. I like it. Oh my god. Okay, so, the big bad bat guy. I knew you'd catch up to me sooner or later. How I relished this meeting is so wonderful.
Let's see if you can cut the mustard. Well, Batman just gives him a gut punch.
I just love this where Batman draws the line. I love that.
Right.
Just like bam, punches him in the stomach, and Condiment King's more so in disbelief than anger. He's like, "You hit me." Also, when Batman punches, it's quiet. He just had enough. He just says, "Shut up!" Essentially, like, quiet. You hit me. And then Batman's fed up, and he's like, "Listen, Mustard Man." He fully knows his name. He's mocking him.
Mustard Man is amazing. Yes.
Listen, Mustard Man, or whatever you're calling yourself. You're obviously new at this, so I'm willing to go easy on you, provided you give back everything you stole, and you never even think of doing something like this again. So I think Batman.
I love that idea that Batman gives it's kind of like the Spider-Man, like everybody gets one. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And again, seeing what Batman goes up against, I like to think Batman's looking at this as like, maybe I can help change the system a little bit here. I might let this guy go if he, because no one's really truly been hurt here. Ketchup and mustard. I mean, again, return the goods. I mean, maybe this guy, if I let him go, perhaps he'll, like, I mean, I don't know if he was going to let him go necessarily, but he might have just, like, let him off of the warrant, let him go, and then if he never puts on the thing again, it's like, okay, this is a nut job who maybe he's going to get some psychiatric help. I don't know. Maybe I'll look in on it.
Right.
I don't know. Something like that. Which, again, possible. And, of course, Condiment King's reaction is, horseradish! Squirting all over the place. Again, importantly, there's a mess around here. You want to go toe to toe with the Prince of Pickles, the Sultan of Sauce?
Oh, God.
So he's striking a pose on like he's about to make like a sly. He thinks like a Bondian exit of some kind right now, and he then slips on his own ketchup.
Of course he does.
He falls, and I love this Batman. Of course, I love when Batman makes the attempt here. He goes to save him. He grabs like the gun. Unfortunately, the gun's like in a little plastic flimsy tube. Pops off, and then Condiment King is like frantically grabbing onto this neon sign. I love that neon saves his life, by the way.
Yeah. We get a lot of good neon action in this episode.
We do. He grabs onto this neon sign, which saves him. Basically, kind of slows his fall because he's hanging onto this thing on the way down before he drops it, and then he just lands, bam, on a cop car. Not just any cop car. Lands on Bullock and Montoya's cop cars. They're calling for an ambulance and everything. Montoya notices something.
Yeah, she notices that it's a famous stand-up comedian, Buddy Standler.
Yes.
Do you think this guy's an Adam Sandler clone? Because I kind of think so.
Well, you know what's funny? I think he's mainly inspired by Buddy Hackett, but I mean, with the Standler of it all, I mean, it's supposed to be like stand-up, sort of like it's kind of what they're going for with the name. But it's I don't know. I mean, I never thought of it that way. It is in the '90s, so he's probably a good Sandler back then. I don't know, maybe.
All right.
All I know is the Buddy Hackett thing's definitely there. Maybe there's some Sandler in there. Why not? All right. So we're in the Batcave and we watch Batman, Robin. They're watching Summer Gleason do a little exposition where essentially we set up that these comedians, these performers, they have no memory of what they've been doing, and their managers are baffled. Like the manager, and I love this too, by the way. I love when Zimbalist would do this. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who voices Alfred, also because again, actors can do up to 3 voices being paid for the same gig. So Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is doing the voice of the manager here. Just it's a great manager voice, dude. Just like, I'm baffled, but he's absolutely baffled by he's throwing his career away. His show's gotten canceled. There's a $1 million lawsuit with the restaurant. Why do you do it? Why?
All right, so Robin says that he is a fan of the old show, and Batman's like, any idea why he would go off the deep end? No, but talk about bad timing. He was going to be a judge on the annual laugh-off competition tonight.
Yeah, and he and Alfred bought tickets.
I love that. I love that they're Alfred and Dick are doing things together, Dragon.
I'm with you there. I just love the idea. Knowing what Alfred does in his off time. Just such a great deal.
Right. Oh, so, well, we get to see that in grand form this episode.
We do. I do. I love it. So, okay, let's see. So, oh, by the way, there's a few, and this is what I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong. This is still Don Yang's doing some solid, consistent work here, but you'll notice they reused a couple things in this episode. The newspaper that Robin's pulling for the exposition here, the whole laugh-off competition. It's from the Batgirl episode, Shadow of the Bats. It's like, we'll put on a rally for Jim Gordon on the front. It's a very outdated newspaper. That happened. Good catch. Literally the start of the season. Okay, let's see. So, and we cut. What's Alfred doing now? So Alfred's at Mayfield's. He's shopping. Alfred's having a little shopping.
He's not just shopping, Dragon. He's shopping for suits.
Yeah.
He's basically in a men's warehouse of sorts.
Was that like a nice department store? But yeah. Okay, so a guy bumps
You're gonna
into
like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Yes.
Sorry.
A guy in a trench coat bumps into Alfred. Hey, watch it, Mac. Say, excuse me, sir. Just being all proper as Alfred tends to be. But he notices something's off with this man, Tiki. What's coming out of his trench coat? Don't give him the dirty answer.
A tail, Dragon. A tail.
Yes. So of course, Alfred then notices this man is beginning to steal things, but not ordinary things, Tiki.
Oh, God, Dragon. I don't know. I conceptually might like this villain even more than Condiment King, if I'm being completely honest.
Condiment King is the rock star, but seriously, never have any love for the pack rat.
Conceptually, I love this, Dragon. I love the idea of, like, a villain who just holds people up for literally, like, not even their spare change, but literally, like, the pocket lit and the, oh my god, it's so great.
So, so Pack Rat. And here's the thing: Pack Rat, like Batman's had some rat-inspired villains, but not a Pack Rat. So this
I mean,
guy's
this,
original.
I think the reason why Condiment King takes off the way he does is that there's actually visually interesting things you can do with him. Whereas Pack Rat is a really funny concept, but I feel like it's kind of like once you do it once, there's not really a lot more you can do with it. You know what I mean?
Of course, you got to remember Dini, of course, from his Tiny Toons days. Dini he loves classic cartoons, and the guy's really funny. He can be really funny, and
Sure,
I think
sure.
Pack Rat, these are genius concepts, each and every one of these, especially Condiment King and Pack Rat more so. But all right, so. I believe it's Grant Shao does the voice of this guy, and here's an obscure '90s pool. Well, yeah, I guess it was '90s. Yeah, Ants. He was the foreman in Ants, the one that gives the Z the business.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, so my favorite thing about the Pack Rat, especially when you rewatch the episode, his score. His score is like they have this like little cow tipper noise thing, like the
I didn't even notice
and it
that.
plays the most ridiculous parts. When he does like the most ridiculous poses, they play the moo sound. I'll point out the big one for you later. The point being, so we have Pack Rat.
Cowbell Dragon. I think we need more cow.
It needs more cowbell. Maybe not the bell, but maybe some cow. A little more cow.
Charlie Adler's like, I'm here. I'm listening. What do you need?
Okay, so anyway, so stealing not the jewelry, but the stuff like the boxes of the jewelry comes in, and like stealing the cash boxes and the mannequin arms and the purses and this and that.
Just basically like all the useless shit.
Yes, all the less valuable, I mean, don't know, he steals like a purse, but it's like he dumps. This is before purses were like a big commodity. He's just dumping them out. All right, so it's all is fine. So again,
I love how he goes up to the jewelry, to the person behind the counter. He takes the box, he throws the jewelry out, and just pockets the box. And the woman's just like, she doesn't know what to do. She's just like, hey, you can't do that.
See, I love the confidence level. These guys think they're master criminals. Like, hey, I want this.
Right.
It just takes it. Now, what's great about this, too, is that this guy, again, like Condiment King, I like the escalation factor with these, seemingly harmless, until not a ketchup gun comes out for this guy. The guy has like a small machine gun. The minute the gun comes out, we see the danger in these gimmicky foes. And again, that's Dini for you, working that line.
Like, there is one fucking moment with Alfred.
I know.
You know what it is. Yeah. We'll get there.
That's what I'm saying. So, Dini walking that perfect line, they're absurd, but with a point, though, and that there's a danger to the unstableness of this guy. And it's a little falling down-ish. So, anyway, so point being, machine gun comes out, and he's like firing around the place, and the guards and everything. And so Alfred's going to call Batman and Robin in the Batcave from a payphone. Oh boy, so there's a man with a gun here who's running amok, sir. You might want to come down here. Then of course he's now in the crosshairs of the Packer. Hey Mac, word of advice, Mac, never rat on a rat. And then this traumatizing moment happens where after we cut so Batman and Robin are helpless here. They hear Alfred's in trouble and there's a man with a gun, and then all we hear next is rat-tat-tat, if you will, where again the gun is going off, and like you see Batman's poor reaction, Alfred!
Right, it's like I love that so much just because we know everything we need to know about, why Bruce Wayne, of all people, would be like the most anti-gun guy in the world. And to just hear the gun go off, to just visualize the fact that he would lose Alfred in the same way that he lost his parents. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like
it's such a small bit, but it adds a lot of pathos to the overall episode.
I absolutely concur, Tiki. And it's a fact too that it's like, imagine how painful it would be, Bruce Wayne, that I've trained myself. I'm Batman. I've done everything to ensure this never happens again, and I'm in the most helpless position ever while it's happening to my loved one over the phone.
Absolutely.
Poor Batman, just like going through that experience, and they're rushing over there as they can. So of course we reveal Alfred. Thank goodness Alfred's okay. Otherwise we couldn't air this on Saturday morning. Alfred's okay. And the wacko just shot up the phone just for like the phone piece, and he's holding the phone all smiley and everything. He like hugs the phone practically, and then we hear the moo sound effect. Moo. It's like, oh god, it's ridiculous. All right, so then we cut to kind of a Roseanne parody. With Lisa Lorraine, who's like watching her own show. I mean, how much more, much more self-aggrandizing is she's watching her own show as she's on the phone with her agent saying, "I ain't doing this laugh off unless I get a raise."
Oh God.
Now, Tiga, another familiar voice on the end of this character.
Yeah, Andrea Martin. Yep.
Yeah, Miss Fowl from Jimmy Neutron, and
Sure.
Ron Stoppel's mom from Kim Possible.
Nice.
So yeah, doing really this character pretty funny, right? Just like the most sellouty comedian you can get. Pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the least clever of the three in terms of concept, but it's still a funny character.
Sure, it's a nice little satire, and like again, I like how we have three different types of comedians. You have like kind of your TV, like your Rich Little-esque comedian, probably in Condiment King. Then we have like I'm sure just kind of like a stand-up, regular stand-up, and then we have her as like a TV, like the sitcom star comedian.
Sure.
All right. So again, let's see. So, they're much like Roseanne, a little difficult and demanding, it seems. That's the impression I got. So, there's a knock on the door, a little bell ring. Someone's ding dong here. Someone's ringing the doorbell. She answers it, and it's. By the way, they reused the Riddler commercial from Riddler's Reform. They're playing that on the TV.
Oh,
so funny. John Glover probably gets a residual for this because they use the episode.
Nice.
Anyway, so there's a surprise pizza delivery, Tiki, but not just any pizza delivery.
Dragon, I love the detail that Roseanne, of course, would not turn down a pizza even if she didn't order it herself. Well, I didn't order it, but I'll take it.
How much?
Just made me chuckle, Dragon. That made me chuckle.
Yep, and we have, of course, a familiar voice saying, "It's on me," and of course, big old smile in the shadow, and of course, like we know who it is. We're not dopes, but still, it's in silhouette. We're building it up a little bit, and then of course, he opens the giant smiley face box, and of course, it's a knockout gas, presumably, kind of comes out again. Whenever this smiling face is at your door, kids, this is why we need peepholes. We need to reinstall the peepholes in the 90s. All right, so she gets gassed. We have to show how bad Robin. If they just showed up the minute after we revealed Alfred was okay, I would have called BS because there's no way they got from point A to point B that fast. We got to go somewhere else.
Right.
Okay, so Batman and Robin, they've arrived at Mayfield's as the Pack Rat continues his quote unquote crime spree. And again, I like it's continuing the pattern of Condiment King, where he's holding everyone up after he calls the ruckus. He wants loose string. He wants balls of lint. None of that cash stuff. All right, so Batman and Robin intervene.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. They swoosh in.
They bowler wrap him, so it means he's all wrapped up with the gun, and he's trying to free himself using the machine gun, like, rat-tat-tat-tat. He's going around. I love there's a little bit. Robin kind of cracks a smile. He quickly covers up because he doesn't want to take off Batman again, like last episode. So, but then of course things turn serious once the guy falls down. Now he's free, and like, oh boy, now the gun's pointed at us. We got to duck. We got to run around. So of course they're evading gunfire. Gunfire hits a fuse box. It's going to be important later. Let's see. Of course, Batman, awesome. I love whenever Batman can do this sort of thing. Of course, the anti-gun message of the bit.
He just, Dragon, I call it the wagging finger of shame.
Yep, that's what he does. He just he grabs the gun out of his hand, and then punch, bam. He hits
you didn't say the magic word.
Yep, and then right into the golf stand, which off to the side, Howard Helms is shedding a single tear. Like, no. Not the golf equipment. Why? I'm gonna miss tea time.
Oh dear. Oh god.
Man.
All right.
Anyway, sorry. Better Call Saul references aside.
No, it's all good. I made a Fabian joke too. So.
Okay. Anyway, so importantly, he's in the golf stand. He's now armed with a golf club, and I love how cocky Batman's animated here, where he's just like arms full. He's just dodging the golf clubs like side to side. Until Pack Rat here, he just bam hits the fuse, the shot up fuse box, gets electrocuted the crap out of, like bolts across onto the floor, and importantly, his neck is smoking. There's a little device on his neck, and Robin also recognizes him as yet another comedian.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I don't have the name on hand,
Harry
Dragon.
Loomis. It's Harry Loomis.
Harry Loomis. All right. There you go.
Let's see. So a little smoking patch of skin reveals some circuitry, a microchip underneath, which is the signature of what villain, Tiki?
The Mad Hatter.
Yes, and again, I like that. I gotta give. Here's the thing. Again, we don't have enough real estate to fully, kind of connect our guys here. But by the same token, I do love the mystery we kind of built in here. Like, this seems like, yeah, this is the Mad Hatter style, yet it's funny.
Uh-huh.
A little kind of red hair in there. So we go to Arkham and we find Jervis Tetch, but not as you'd imagine we find him.
This is a pretty creepy scene right here, Dragon.
It is.
Just the animation of Jervis just kind of like staring out into space, like asleep, but with his eyes open.
I mean, he looks inanimate, doesn't he?
He really does. It's kind of uncanny, Dragon.
Yeah, weirded me out as a kid too.
I don't blame you.
You gotta remember, T, until this is the last time you see him until the revamp. So.
Oh no! Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ!
Like, think about this, Tika. This is the last time we see him until the revamp. The last time we saw Scarecrow was his little lockup experience.
Right.
So yeah, it's again, we're leaving our guys in kind of interesting states here before we change him up a little bit. So anyway, he's not sleeping, but he's comatose. He's been chipped himself. Which then we have this really awesome transition of Batman's cape to the Batcave returning to the Batcave.
Yes, I'm glad you point that out. It's a great transition. I have that in my notes as well.
Yeah. All right, so Robin essentially recaps the situation that Mad Hatter's been hit with his own technology. The same thing's been done to these two comedians so far. What's the connection? So Alfred comes with news, literally news. I believe he has like a newspaper or something. I love when Alfred does the exposition with the newspapers. Like, remember that Bane episode? Everything was so on point with all the newspapers. Press is not dead, kids. I don't care what anyone says it. That this proves press is not dead. At least it's hemorrhaging. Okay, so Alfred brings news that there are now 3 comedians with Lisa Lorraine, and more importantly, he brings a lead.
Yes, so it turns out that Laugh Off, the award show was hosted by all 3 of the people that have been kidnapped and turned into these gimmick villains, if you will.
Mm-hmm. They've been targeted.
And there's a flashback, Dragon. There's a flashback in the form of last year's broadcast that Alfred videotaped. I would like to think using the same videotaping methods he used to record It's a Wonderful Life.
That was Jim Gordon who recorded It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
My favorite little detail about that episode, I never forget, the fact that Batman had to ask Commissioner Gordon,
yes,
It's a Wonderful Life. Somewhere, Gordon is in his office, has that tape somewhere.
Oh God! All right.
Anyway, okay, but yeah, so
I'd like to see the Harley Quinn Gordon bring that up, Dragon, bring up the It's a Wonderful Life thing.
Funny. Anyway,
I could see that I could see Harley Quinn Gordon having like an It's a Wonderful Life parody episode.
That would be, oh my God, that's, again, we have a new season coming, I don't know.
All right.
Sign off on it. All right, so importantly, so this is the big scene, the big scene in question. So again, we've established our link out for recorded from last year, and we're playing the tape, and so it's the end of the competition, and very important detail, last year, I want to say that for anyone who's about to jump down my throat, last year's tape.
Oh God! All right, Dragon. You know what? I'm just gonna. Do you want to just take the floor on this, buddy? Because you clearly care way more about this than I do.
I mean, look, it's like not a thing that always gets brought up. I mean, sometimes again, the mix-up thing is what I got to clarify here. So I have the evidence. This is the evidence I have to cite with the whole last year thing. Okay.
All right.
So, anyways, it's the end of the competition, and before the deliberation process, a comedian crashes the event to perform.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as we announced, the funniest person in Gotham, of course, enter Smilin' Shecky Rimshot.
God.
Okay, so Shecky Rimshot, of course, he's very mop-headed, very, he's got like long hair, he's got a hat, he's a big man, he's kind of seemingly a paunchy guy. Important visual details here. So he's basically trying to steal the stage, and he refuses to get off stage until he performs here. And he says, Hey, guy walks in. Basically, he has a very Andrew Dice Clay-ish act, which is great. So he's got a very Andrew Dice Clay kind of. He sounds very much like Dice Clay. So
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting to. Yeah.
very fun. It's like maybe one part Dangerfield, but a lot of Andrew Dice Clay. It's very
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
just like guy walks in. Did you hear about the guy who walked into a doctor's office? Doctor says, doctor, just, with a frog on his head. Doctor says that's the weird. That's the weirdest looking wart I ever seen. Says frog looks up and says, "Hey, yeah, I know. I woke up this morning. There was this big bump on my butt." So of course, the audience they're laughing. There, yeah, it seems. I love that we see. The audience was laughing. That's the most important detail. That he had hope. He had hope, and he was on top of the world for a second, and then he gets buzzed on the second joke and says, "Hey, buddy, registration closed days ago." And of course, Shecky here, he's saying, "I'm not leaving till I get that trophy." And I think it's the biggest insult any comedian could ever get. He gets the hook. He gets the hook. He's just dragged off stage, and then the voice changes to a more familiar one. I love that it's both the same actor. Of course, it's Mark Hamill.
Of course, of course.
And again, doing that Dice Clay, Mark Hamill was so amazing. Anyway, so of course we have a double the Hamill for the price of one. He's saying, "You can't do this to me. I'm the greatest comic in Gotham. I'll ruin you all." So then, of course, Batman very astutely freezes the tape, and he kind of like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Of course, I'm sure he's recognizing the voice. He wants to. I said, "I see what you're saying, Alfred." So then he pulls the trick from Phantasm here, where he is. This shows Batman has learned since Phantasm. Okay, wait a minute, I know what to do here.
Right.
Different hair. Like, get rid of the hat, give him different hair, and you change the eyes. And oh my god,
kind of like Wooly Willy him, essentially.
Essentially. So it's the Joker. So here's what I got to clarify. It's not a huge thing, Tiki. It's just like you gotta imagine when everyone talks about the Joker, they have a very specific way they want the origin. Some people want the Red Hood, some people want the multiple choice thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
This is why it's a sticking point. Is why I want to clarify it. Some people think so. We just got rid of the Phantasm. We just said this is the new origin. We're doing the Killing Joke thing, which means people don't get the Killing Joke thing because it's the fact that we'll never know what it is. It's like, oh, he has to be the comedian because that's how it was in that story.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Where here, what it is very simply is that it's just this is him actually as the Joker in makeup last year. That's what people don't get about the episode. They think it's him before the whole accident. It's not.
I mean, I got that pretty clearly.
I know
he
you
takes
got
his
it.
makeup off.
That's what I'm saying because he does that later, and some people think that's him because you can tell he's like putting on like the paunchy getup and everything. Alfred says it's last year. I just want to clarify that for the record. Now we can move on. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right.
Okay, so we're at the next laugh off, this year's laugh off, but it's being held under different circumstances.
Very panicked circumstances. So we have the host. I believe the same host from last year too. So Joker has a grudge with this guy too.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, voiced by Richard Jeni. Charlie from the Mask movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so Richard Jeni, he's basically panicking. He's scrambling, looking for judges. Enter the Joker, saying, "Ask and ye shall receive." First, he presents the judges.
Vitti and Kowalski.
And Knuckles.
Right. They'll be presenting me the trophy this evening.
So here's actually a fun fact. They really, the henchmen this time, they all look like mimes.
Yeah.
Now, they actually, when they do, they love this idea. I guess they love this design so much. All of Joker's henchmen in the revamp are basically like a version of this mime design.
Oh. Nice.
Gave them different names, but they go with Larry, Moe, and Curl, like Lair, Moe, Curl, for Three Stooges instead. But that's what I'm saying. They keep the same gimmick. I think it's a good gimmick, though. It's like giving like these giant thuggish mime henchmen. It's kind of cool.
Sure.
All right, so he hits him with the microchip, and of course, I really must thank the Mad Hatter if he ever wakes up. How sad, poor Jervis Tetch. All right, so it's showtime.
All right. First of all, I really like the lighting.
Yeah, the lighting's, again, they're killing with the lighting with like Joker and Shadow and stuff. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, right.
All right. So he presents the first and only contestant being mind controlled and everything, a smiling Shecky Rimshots. Now we see Shecky in color, vibrant color. Yep, and again, by the way, this is a huge momentous thing to you. This is the first time Joker in the animated series has ever worn makeup.
Right.
Well, the first thing he's worn fleshy makeup.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, he's wearing makeup all the time. It's kind of a weird... But I get what you're saying. This is the first time we see him kind of, like, in in kind of like a human form,
Yeah,
seemingly.
doing like the '89 makeup thing is my point. Yeah, doing
Right,
like
right, yeah.
She never did again, but just doing that one time. Right. Okay, so yeah, so funny thing happened to me on the way to the theater last year. And I love his kind of what Hamill does here is genius. He kind of breaks from one voice to another throughout this. So he's changing the diction in the voice till eventually he just completely breaks it.
Mm-hmm.
3 no-talent hacks tried to stop me from winning. But guess what? I'm back. It's just that great reveal. He takes a handkerchief, wipes off the makeup, and they all panic and they're running for their lives, as you should do. Whenever the Joker's on like a stage, you should run. Run for dear life. Anyways, of course, such unhappy faces. Judges, let's cheer him up. They toss some laughing gas grenades, which I think he screwed up because they seemed like real grenades, which would have killed a lot of people. So Batman swoops in, throws the Batarang, saves the bunch, and then now he's on stage. He swings on top of these goons, by the way. He's like, bam, knocks them out, which is awesome. He's given chase, and what happens?
Is this the part where Mighty Mom comes out?
This is the bit.
Okay, so yeah, he introduces Mighty Mom to the stage, and it's a fun gimmick. I don't think it's as outside the box as Condiment King or the Pack Rat, but I like that she has a broom for the main weapon. That's fun.
But I don't do windows. We gave her like all these sitcom-y catchphrases.
Right.
Funny. All right, so mop them up. Hands her some grenades, which are not good. So Joker flees. So basically, Batman and Robin split up. And Tiki, this is the mandatory part of season 3 where we have to give Robin something to do so we can have Batman go mano-a-mano with them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we have a third comedian. Let's not waste that. So, okay, Robin's fighting off against Mighty Mom. And I gotta tell you, it's a little
naughty boy, Mama spank.
Yeah, seeing Robin get bent over the it's not one of the. It's like if I had to make it a compilation of Robin's not so great moments, like this is
right.
The band. It's like yeah, there we kind of wrote him off sometimes. This is what fueled Nightwing's. Like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm getting spanked by Mighty Mom. What is it
Totally.
So you have to eat some crow. That Robin has to eat some crow appropriately. So Robin handles her. Meanwhile, Batman's Joker's running off with the trophy.
Yes. Dragon, this is what I'm saying. I mean, like, this is probably my least favorite part of the episode, if I'm being honest with you. And I just don't think that a Batman Joker rooftop encounter should be my least favorite part of any episode. It's just kind of weird like that.
Well, here's the thing, T. I hear what you're saying, and I feel it, but it's in a different way. Here is that I like the encounter, but I just feel like it's a little the ceremony of it's gone. You weren't really building up a Batman.
No, I hear that, and I guess that's my issue with it.
So I like the balloon
honestly,
show.
Like I keep saying, I feel like the other, like the side villains, kind of overshadow Joker to a certain extent in his own episode.
Yeah, it's almost 2 episodes in a sense. It's almost. Here's the thing. I think the missed opportunity is what Dini's laying out here that just we don't have enough time to explore is that it's Joker's parody of what Batman goes up against. Essentially, Joker's kind of saying what you do is a joke, and here's an example of it. I'm just gonna, he basically is having fun with Batman. We're not fully saying all that stuff here. We're just saying, hey, Joker's kind of making these fun little characters to distract Batman while he's exacting his revenge.
Sure.
That's what he's doing. Is just maybe you could dig a little deeper, and then the whole it's this kind of like Joker's making fun of exactly what Batman does, but we just he's getting the trophy. He's got to steal the trophy. That's kind of what it appears to be.
Oh, but Batman, it's not just the trophy; it's the title.
That's what I'm saying. That's the Dini writing on the Joker, and I do like that a great deal.
There's a nice nugget of interesting Joker writing, but it doesn't really get fleshed out beyond that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sympathetic with you there. Certainly, it's just like. Of course, I do like Batman's lead up to that conversation, though, as they're calling the roof says, "This is low even for you, Joker. Only you would ruin 3 lives for a silly piece of tin." Then, of course, it's not, it's not the trophy, it's the title. I'm the greatest clown to ever, I'm the greatest clown this dismal burg has ever seen. What would the common folk do without my pranks and antics? All of his cheerful choreographies, like spin, like he's very acrobatic, despite like he's wearing like a fat suit and everything. It's
Uh-huh.
very Gleason-esque. So he jumps on a balloon, very 89-esque, and he's cutting the rope up and away. A little Superman nod there. So he's going up. Batman pursues on the grappling gun. The two fight on the balloon. I just love the symbolism of Joker hitting Batman with the trophy. Too bad, Batsap. You know the old saying, dying is easy, comedy is hard. It's a great image, though. This Joker laughing at Batman dangling from a giant clowny balloon, just
Oh
bashing
yeah,
his
yeah,
hands.
yeah.
So Robin arrives, and we had to put Robin there for the namesake. Robin arrives and kicks Joker, who then accidentally stabs the balloon. They're heading down. Joker stumbles and he falls. Batman saves him. But what happens to Joker, Tiki?
Oh God. He basically gets pantsed going down, Dragon, and then
Yep,
he's stumbling. Let's just say he's having a wardrobe malfunction as he's getting arrested.
exactly. So again, Tiki, this is a thing that really comes back in Batman Beyond in a big way, where Joker's kryptonite is being laughed at or being upstaged. That's Joker's kryptonite. That's why like sometimes he wants to kill Harley Quinn because he just hates it when someone else gets the laugh or to laugh at his misfortune. This is like kind of a little chink in the armor there for the Joker. This is like what Dini happened upon big time with this episode. When Joker gets laughed at, he really doesn't like it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So the guns are drawn. Is there a problem, officers? And of course, he's arrested and led away, and that's the episode. In
It's
shame.
like to me, this was another kind of missed opportunity where the episode just ends. There's no punch to it at
Yeah,
all.
I'm with
Do you
you.
know what I mean?
I hear you.
It was kind of bizarre almost. Like
I know.
after so many strings of just like really memorable endings. Like even the last one we did, that's not like a top tier episode by any means, but the ending was wonderful.
I mean, the best I could say for Teague is that it's living up to the namesake, and that Joker made him laugh, but they laughed at his misfortune. The problem is we didn't quite linger on it, though. I mean,
Right.
it's there, but we didn't quite. The punch was like, think about it. Like, think about Christmas with the Joker. Christmas with the Joker ends with like him just laughing hysterically in a cell in Arkham. Like, there's not much of an ending, but there's a punch to it, right?
No, sure.
We're kind of lacking the punch there, where it's like it's there, but yeah, it's like I think I get it, but it's not quite.
All right. And by the way, through all this, like, where is like what happened to Mighty Mom?
Oh no, Robin. Oh, right. Yeah, we glazed over that. What happened was Robin. He removed the patch, and then she elbows him by accident. He had the awesome bit where he threw a batarang, which actually do what a bataring's supposed to do, where you throw it and it actually works like a boomerang. It goes backwards. Knocked the grenade out of her hand. Robin, you remove the patches. Don't worry, I'm back to normal.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I love the back to normal
Yeah.
thing. Who could tell?
At least
That was
we
fun.
didn't,
That was
yeah,
fun.
good thing we didn't miss that. That was fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. I got to admit, for me, this is I love the Condiment King stuff. Clearly, the standout of the episode, but I'd say this is easily one of my least favorite Joker episodes. I mean, it's solid, it's good, it's a fun time. But I don't know. I can't see myself watching beyond the Condiment King stuff, if I'm being honest.
Well, maybe Pack Rat too, but
Sure. If
Yeah.
only for the Alfred bits.
Sure. There you go. All right, so for me, episode, I pretty much echo your sentence for the most part. It's not a go-to episode. It has merit for sure. I think it has merit, and I like what Dean is going for there. I like the whole it's Joker with an agenda. It's kind of like an old school Joker plot in a sense. It just doesn't quite have like the cycle. It doesn't have the meat I was hoping for, but it's there.
Right.
And again, I think it looks a lot better than Joker's Wild. I think it's a cut above like a Be a Clown, the whole kidnaps the mayor's son, that whole episode.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I forgot that episode existed.
So I wouldn't say it's the bottom tier. I'd say maybe like in the middle of the bottom tier. It's like that, but it's like second to last. And then I might like it more in Joker's Wild, but Joker's Wild has a better story. But anyway. So it's again this episode creates Condiment King, which obviously had some stay power. And again, like Joker, kind of mocking, kind of creating some Bat villains. A lot of fun there. It's a fun episode, but definitely not the best of season 3. It's just kind of like it's kind of a placeholder for season 3. Like, yeah, we got some episodes. The next one's not as good as the next one. I'll put it to you that
way. Right. Speaking of which, Dragon, cue us up.
Okay. Penultimate episode of the season, folks. Victor Freeze given hope. A deluded Disney? Epcot fully realized? Will Batman and Robin save Gotham from becoming a frozen wasteland? Will Mr. Freeze get a happy ending to his tragic tale? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with Deep Freeze. Sorry, go ahead.
Condiment King.
Not so fast, Mustard Man.